Imagine that you are on your deathbed surrounded by your loved ones and you know it's time. You are about to say something, but it's going to be the last thing you ever say because you know it's time. Because you are about to say your dying words. Now, in this moment, will you think about the introduction, body, and conclusion of what you have to say? A very good evening to the Toastmasters and distinguished guests. As someone who is very frequent on stage, I have started treating all of my conversations like their speeches. Before I'm about to speak to someone, I think about the structure of what I have to speak. I really wanted to go to a Goa trip with my friends, so I had obviously had to convince my mother. So before I approached her, I started thinking, how am I going to speak to her? I thought of this. I'm going to first tell her that I'm very exhausted. I'm burnt out. I've been working very hard. Then I'm going to show the proof of my hard work. I'm going to show her the certificates, the CGPA, the dark circles underneath my eyes that make me look like a panda. All of those things as proof. And then I'm going to tell her the solution to all of this is me going on a trip with my friends to Goa, feeling relaxed and coming back. And I thought to myself, what an amazing structure. This has to work. The problem, the proof, and the solution as the introduction, body, and conclusion. How could it not work? So with full confidence, I went up to her and I told her what I had to say exactly the way I wanted it to say. And I did go on a trip to the vegetable market to buy tomatoes. While I was fighting and picking the right tomatoes with aunties next to me, I was trying to think what went wrong. What exactly happened? I had such good structure. So, as soon as I went back home, I googled world's best speeches and I watched 3 speeches. And they were incredible speeches. They were very inspiring. So inspiring that I have written a mini speech inspired by these 3 speeches. And I would like to present that in front of you within this speech. Starting off, I have a dream that one day I will have a CGPA of 9.5 and I will not have to study anymore. I have a dream that all of my records will be written by themselves so that I don't have to code with a pen and a paper. I have a dream that I will walk into an interview in the morning and say good afternoon and immediately get a 30 lakh LP. I have such dreams because 4 years ago, I made a tryst with destiny. And it's now time to redeem our pledge, not wholly, not in full measure, but substantially. At the midnight hour, when the world sleeps, an engineer wakes and remembers there's a lab exam he's forgotten to study tomorrow. An engineer goes through so many hurdles, such as these, because engineers suffer a lot. But it's not recognized. Medical students say that engineers are bookworms. Medical students say that engineers have it too easy. They're lazy. And commerce students say that engineering students are bookworms. They don't have a life. When in reality, engineering students work hard for 4 years, but then get a 3 lakh package. This is injustice, and this needs to change. I believe that one certificate, one resume, one LinkedIn account, and one ChatGPT can change an engineer's package. Thank you. Now don't clap. It was not the end of my speech. That was the end of the mini speech. Now this one speech was inspired by 3 speeches. I Have a Dream by Martin Luther King, A Tryst with Destiny by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, and One Child, One Teacher, One Pen and One Book Can Change the World by Malala Yousafzai. These speeches changed the world. They had an impact on the people who listened to them. Now that begs the question, why didn't my mini speech have the same impact? What did I do wrong? I used their iconic lines, I used their structure, I used their voice modulation, but something wasn't right. See, let me give you a little bit more context. Martin Luther King gave the speech at the time when people were discriminated on the basis of their color, but he stood in front of those same people and said, I dream of equality. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru gave the speech on the eve of the birth of a glorious nation, and he said to acknowledge the 2 centuries of struggle that we've had to endure to get independence, but also told us to look into the future with hope. Malala Yousafzai gave this speech after taking a bullet to the head, survives it, and tells that every child deserves education. The reason why she got a bullet to the head in the first place is because the Taliban shot her when she was trying to go to school. See, I use their structure, I use their lines, but I didn't have that impact. The structure, the body language, the voice modulation of a speaker can be called the methodology of a speaker. The methodology is very important because it makes sure that the message reaches the audience and stays there long enough to make an impact. But what good is perfect methodology if the message is not worthwhile? I believe that when a speaker is speaking, their message should be priority number one. And it should be something that they fully believe in. Their methodology should be secondary. These three speeches, when they were given, in the scenario that they were given, had such strong messages that their methodology was just an add-on. That is the power of a good message. Now, let me take you back to what I told you earlier. Imagine that you are on your deathbed, surrounded by your loved ones, and you know it's time. You're about to say the thing that's going to be the last thing you ever say because you know it's time. Because you're about to say your dying words. But this time, do not think about the intro, body, and conclusion. Rather, make sure what you're about to say is worth listening to. Make sure what you're about to say is worthwhile, and make sure what you're about to say is something that you absolutely believe in. Do you believe in what you have to say? Toastmaster of the day.